The top 6 performers James Coburn's the most. On August 31st, 1928, James Coburn was born in the Midwest small hamlet of Laurel, Nebraska. The values of perseverance, humility, and hard labor influenced his early years. His family experienced financial difficulties during the Great Depression. He gained a strong sense of self-reliance and determination from this that lasted the rest of his life. After relocating to Compton, California, as a child, Coburn developed an interest in films and literature. He then enrolled at Los Angeles City College to pursue a degree in theater and acting. He developed the abilities that would make him well known in Hollywood there. Coburn's rise to fame wasn't simple. He developed the discipline and toughness he needed to play the gritty characters he portrayed on cinema while serving in the U.S. Army during the Korean War. He studied with renowned instructors and pursued acting more seriously after his military service. He also had tiny roles on TV and in theaters. Because of his rugged good looks, powerful demeanor, and distinctive gravelly voice, people soon realized how different he was from his peers. He was therefore a logical candidate for westerns and action films. His rise to fame occurred in the 1960s. His face appeared in numerous westerns, spy stories, and action films. Coburn's breakthrough role was as the knife-throwing gunslinger Brit in The Magnificent Seven, 1960. He became a rising star because of this. He was well known for being cool all the time during that decade. He was frequently likened to his close friend Steve McQueen. Coburn portrayed a cool secret agent like James Bond in films such as The Great Escape, 1963, Our Man Flint, 1966, and In Like Flint, 1967. Here, he established himself as one of the most identifiable tough guys of his era, fusing brawn, humor, and charisma in a way that appealed to fans. In real life, Coburn was a very creative and intellectual person, despite his role as a fearless man of action on television. In addition to action and adventure roles, he portrayed a variety of other roles. He never allowed himself to be confined to a single typecast and appeared in comedies and dramas. His collaborations with Sam Peckinpah on Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, 1973, and Cross of Iron, 1977, were among the highlights of his multi-decade career. Coburn was renowned for his seemingly effortless style of playing. He rarely overacted and frequently expressed his emotions through subtle gestures, facial expressions, and quiet. Lindsay DePaul, a gifted British singer-songwriter, and James Coburn were in a passionate and musically rich 4-year relationship toward the end of the 1970s. They collaborated on music that significantly impacted DePaul's company in addition to their personal relationship. Among the noteworthy songs they wrote together were the silly-sounding Melancholy Melon and Losing the Blues for You. They were both featured on her popular album, Tigers and Fireflies. Coburn displayed a distinct aspect of his various talents at this period. His ability to collaborate with other musicians and write lyrics, in addition to his strength as an actor, demonstrated an artistic sensibility that many of his admirers might not have been aware of. Following this period of musical exploration and personal development, Coburn made a comeback to the film industry in the 1990s, showcasing his acting prowess in both lead and supporting roles. He appeared in several well-known and diverse films during this return, demonstrating his versatility. These included the action comedy Hudson Hawk, the feel-good sequel Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit, and the western adventure Young Guns 2. In addition, he worked on the amusing comedy The Nutty Professor, the serious horror Eraser, and the sleek and entertaining western Maverick. When Coburn portrayed Glenn Whitehouse in Affliction, his devotion to his work peaked. He earned the coveted Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor because of his intensely emotional and impactful performance in this part. He became one of Hollywood's most enduring character actors as a result. As his career progressed, Coburn shone an amazing capacity for adaptation by pursuing voice acting, which enabled him to contribute his distinct gravitas to animated series. His role as the endearing but ethically dubious Henry J. Water III in Pixar's groundbreaking film Monsters, Inc. was one of his final and most cherished roles, where a figure that people of all ages still remember was brought to life by his voice. James Coburn spent decades performing, collaborating with musicians, and experimenting with art, leaving a lasting impression on the film industry and beyond. He turned out to be a very vibrant and long-lasting talent. James Coburn has been married twice in his personal life, to separate women at different points in his life. He wed Beverly Kelly for the first time in 1959. After 20 years of marriage, they had 2 kids. Over the course of these 2 decades, Coburn maintained his image as a charming and versatile actor while navigating the challenges of balancing a family life with a booming Hollywood career. In the harsh world of entertainment, divorce is a common outcome of marriages, and this one was no exception. The 2 parted ways in 1979. Coburn continued to treat his ex-wife and their kids with dignity and respect, even after their marriage ended. He emphasized the value of remaining devoted to his children, despite the changes in his own life. Coburn fell in love once more in his senior years. In the stunning backdrop of Versailles, France, he wed actress Paula Murad on October 22, 1993. Coburn, who was already a well-known and respected TV and movie veteran, discovered new contentment and stability in his life during this marriage. In addition to their strong friendship, Coburn and Murad shared a commitment to community service. They accomplished this, for instance, through the James and Paula Coburn Foundation. The pair left a legacy that extended beyond Coburn's film work by attempting to help causes close to their hearts through this nonprofit organization. Their marriage remained solid and enduring until Coburn's passing in 2002, demonstrating that it was founded on respect, love, and a shared objective. Despite having severe rheumatoid arthritis, which made it difficult for him to move about and caused constant pain, Coburn stubbornly pursued his interests. He committed himself to studying martial arts and cherished the values and discipline it instilled in him. Due to his intense devotion to martial arts, he developed a close friendship with Bruce Lee, regarded as one of the greatest martial artists of all time. They were more than just friends. They respected one another, had an interest in physical and mental health, and were aware of each other's commitment to their jobs. Coburn was one of the pallbearers at Bruce Lee's burial on July 25, 1973, demonstrating his appreciation for his friend when he tragically passed away at the height of his stardom. This demonstrated their closeness and Coburn's loyalty to those who were important to him. It demonstrated the actor's dedication, respect, and concern for those who held special meaning for him. James Coburn, an actor, gained notoriety for speaking his mind. He encountered many fascinating people during his decades-long career in Hollywood, some of whom irritated him, and others of whom inspired him. Some of his peers angered him with their behavior, abilities, or ego, despite the fact that he liked many of them. Here are James Coburn's candid opinions about the 6 stars he claimed he didn't like the most. 1. Harry Carey Jr. Coburn believed that Yul Brynner prioritized style above substance. Coburn remarked, "Brynner was all image and no substance. The only thing that made you feel anything when he entered a room was his pride." Coburn complained that Brynner frequently minimized the significance of the material and his co-stars by relying too heavily on charm and physical presence. He recalled instances during filming when Brynner's assertive demeanor made it challenging for less self-assured performers to establish themselves. For Coburn, Brynner demonstrated how Hollywood prioritized spectacle over talent. Coburn's distaste wasn't purely professional. He claimed that Brynner was too much for him, and that he acted as though he was the only subject of the camera. Coburn's more subdued manner contrasted with Brynner's extravagant one during a period when honesty and nuance were prized. 2. Marlon Brando and Robert De Niro Coburn had issues in both their personal and professional life. Coburn believed that Brando frequently exploited his celebrity to get away with misbehavior, despite the fact that he was aware of his talent. Brando might be smart, but working with him was like walking on a tightrope, he stated. Because of ego, you never knew when the next outburst would occur. Coburn was particularly irritated by Brando's unpredictable behavior and his apparent disregard for professional norms. Additionally, he claimed that Brando occasionally disparaged his co-stars, which made it challenging for them to collaborate on sequences. From a distance, Coburn appreciated Brando's talent, but he didn't enjoy how Brando's ego might interfere with other people's work on set, making even excellent work uncomfortable. 3. Wayne John. Because of how distinct their styles were, Steve McQueen and James Coburn were competitors in the film industry. Coburn once remarked, "McQueen believed that being cool was the same as being good. I've witnessed him pretend to know everyone, but it's all a front. Behind those eyes is no life." Coburn believed that McQueen's charisma and notoriety occasionally concealed the reality that she wasn't an exceptionally talented actress. Coburn claimed that McQueen's actions on site gave him the impression that he was vying for attention rather than cooperating. Coburn frequently claimed that working with McQueen required a great deal of patience and tough skin, even though he was aware of how popular he was at the box office. Coburn believed that McQueen perfectly captured the annoyance of working with performers who prioritize appearance above talent. Richard Burton. The actor Coburn's quiet attitude didn't mesh well with Richard Burton's dramatic and intense approach. "Burton could chew the scenery like a bull chewing cud," Coburn stated. "Although it can be captivating, it is usually exhausting." Coburn felt that moments felt more like acts for Burton than for the viewer or the plot, and that Burton's manner was excessive. In addition to Burton's mannerisms, Coburn was concerned about his personal instability. He claimed that although Burton was intelligent, his work was frequently hampered by his ego and personal issues. Coburn viewed Burton as a poor illustration of what can occur when individual passions obstruct collaborative artistic endeavors. 5. Sean Connery. Sir, regarding Sean Connery, Coburn was unsure of how to feel. Connery's charisma and unmistakable on-screen persona appealed to him, but he didn't like what he perceived as his arrogance. "Connery was a great actor, if you like. The idea of him being James Bond all the time," Coburn once stated. He didn't appear to care about anything else when he wasn't acting. Coburn believed that Connery's self-assurance occasionally caused him to be impolite to others. On settings where collaboration was crucial, Coburn believed Connery's ego might pose issues, particularly with younger or less seasoned players. 4. Coburn. Connery was another individual whose celebrity status occasionally overshadowed their talent and humility. 6. Douglas. John Kirk. Finally, Kirk Douglas's stubbornness and pride earned him a spot on Coburn's list. Coburn clarified by saying, "Douglas was talented, but he also believed that the world revolved around him. Some people may grow tired of that." Coburn hung around and worked with Douglas, but he struggled to get along with others because of his large personality. Coburn frequently considered Douglas's bossiness unpleasant, despite his admiration for his diligence and longevity in Hollywood. Douglas was a fantastic illustration of how difficult it can be to deal with Hollywood actors who have strong personalities and whose confidence can occasionally turn into bossiness. But Coburn also thought he was a talented actor. On November 18, 2002, Academy Award winner James Coburn, who was renowned for his distinct, gritty charm and commanding on-screen persona, passed away unexpectedly from a heart attack at his Beverly Hills home. He was 74. His wife, Paula, described the incident as extremely distressing and private. They listened to music together in silence as he passed out in her arms. An intimate moment that demonstrates their closeness and the sadness of his untimely death. Immediately, emergency services were called due to the urgency of the situation. Doctors and nurses at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, one of the top hospitals in Los Angeles, attempted to save Coburn's life after he was swiftly transported there. They did everything they could, but he was declared dead. Among the decade's worth of outstanding films he left behind are his famous roles in films like The Magnificent Seven, Our Man Flint, and Affliction. Coburn's family, particularly his wife Paula, who had supported him through all of his personal and professional highs and lows, was also grieving his passing, in addition to his admirers and colleagues. That Paula would pass away from illness less than 2 years later is regrettable. On July 30, 2004, she passed away from cancer at the age of 48, ending a life she had spent in close proximity to one of Hollywood's most enchanting celebrities. The story of their lives together was made sadder by the fact that they passed away so shortly after one another. It created a lasting impression on those who knew them and appreciated Coburn's writing, demonstrating how fleeting life can be, even when you're well-known and prosperous.